Okay, so this is going to be the topic of the presentation today, passive to participatory, designing assignments that work online. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Chelsea Rivera. I'm a medical assisting instructor.
Mute. Sorry, it's mute. So Janice Howard, dental hygiene. We had the opportunity to attend the Tech Connect conference for online educators this summer, and we want to share some of those tools with you today.
Okay, so really quick, I will go over RSI, which I know this is a topic that you guys have heard quite a bit about during convocation and last semester, but I'm just going to review it again really quick and the policies that are associated with it. And then we'll talk about creating interactive assignments that are going to reflect those requirements. And then Janice is going to take over and introduce you guys to PlayPosit, which is a very, very cool platform that is a tool used for RSI, or can be used for RSI. We were going to have breakout rooms, but we're actually just going to be generating a discussion. And then with whatever time we have left, we will do questions and answers. So one of the things that I found is very helpful with RSI is when you're creating your assignments with a purpose in mind. I find it to be very helpful, not only for the students to enhance the engagement, but it also helps us as faculty when creating those assignments. So really quick, just kind of a definition review here. So RSI, regular and substantive interaction. This is required in all DE courses. And according to the US Department of Ed, RSI is frequent and predictable, substantive, which is focused on the course content, not just check-ins, and then it's instructor initiated. So let's define a regular really quickly. Earlier, there was a bit of uncertainty about that. So what is considered regular? For hybrid courses, regular would be once a week, but that's because it's a 50% online course. For fully online courses, it is at least 2 times a week, 2 separate RSI interactions per week. Substantive, this is going to mean it needs to be focused on the course content, not just a check-in or, hey, a reminder, flu shot clinic on October, whatever. It needs to be focused on whatever the content is for that module, etc. Instructor initiated. So RSI is looking for not responses to student emails, but rather something that is announced or begun or initiated by the instructor themselves. So why is this going to be mattering for us as faculty and for the students? It is meant to help us enhance our interactions. So especially with online education, you lose some of that interaction that you would get with face-to-face education. So RSI is meant to help with that. Number one, it's definitely important for accreditation, right? So RSI is required by the Department of Ed and our accrediting commissions. It's meant to increase motivation, completion rates, and course satisfaction. So it's definitely a lot more motivating for students to have that regular interaction rather than just having an asynchronous course. They check in, they do their work, they don't really hear from the teacher other than whatever their grades are going to be posted as. Equity is also a very important factor here. In face-to-face classes, it's fine. You have that interaction, but we have the students, maybe they can't go to face-to-face courses for whatever reason. It could be, lack of transportation. It could be any number of factors. So RSI is helping us to make sure that those students have access to that high quality instruction, just like they would have in a face-to-face environment. They're going to have, the interaction. They're going to have the engagement. So here's some do's and don'ts for RSI. So what would be considered, yes, this is RSI, as opposed to, no, this is not RSI. So direct instruction via video or announcements, which is actually Janice is going to be introducing PlayPosit, which is a way to make videos participatory and interactive. Feedback on assignments. So feedback on assignments needs to actually focus on the content and really what you're reflecting, what the student has put out, not just, hey, your grammar needs work, your capitalization needs work. You know, really engaging feedback based on the type of, the assignment and what the student has put out. Personalized discussion replies. Now this one in particular, I use quite frequently. So the discussion post itself, the initial question, that is not RSI, but replying to that discussion as the faculty and initiating another question, creating more engagement, that is considered RSI. So what I tend to do is I will have my initial post, and then sometimes I'll wait for a few students to respond, or maybe that week students aren't responding until the last couple days. So I will generate a follow-up question to my initial response, basically just asking follow-up questions to whatever the topic was about. So that is considered RSI. Synchronous office hours, content-focused announcements. Again, we're wanting to make sure that we outline the fact that this is not just a general announcement. Hey, campus is going to be closed for this holiday. That doesn't count. Hey, I noticed the last module, several of you missed this quiz question. So let me clarify what I meant by that. That would be considered a content-focused announcement. Some things that are not RSI, automated emails, generic discussion prompts with no instructor follow-up, passive video watching, and then logging into LMS without engagement. I mean, that's basically just spectating your class. So that's not RSI. Academic Senate policy. This was created November 13th, 2023. Instructors must initiate at least 2 RSI actions per week. And these are for fully online classes. Hybrid classes considered 1 RSI action, and it can change depending on the amount of units for the course. Remember, each RSI must align with student learning outcomes, and it should be documented in Canvas. This is especially important because when accreditation goes into our courses and takes a look at them, we want that information, those RSI, to be within Canvas. So if you're not doing it in Canvas, they're not going to be able to see it. The policy is right here for all of you to review. The link is available, and it'll be posted in the chat. So when you're creating these assignments with RSI in mind, you want to do it with purpose. So some things to think about would be designing those assignments that require an interaction, which PlayPosit is going to be a perfect example of that. Using tools that support feedback and conversation. Again, the follow-ups on the discussion posts, creating more interaction, more engagement, more questions, incorporating multimedia or guided activities, and then structuring opportunities for timely feedback, whether it's, making, your discussion posts. It can be twice a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, for initial response, and then peer responses. And then as, faculty, you can throw in your add-ons to those discussion posts. So PlayPosit, why did we decide on PlayPosit? We really liked PlayPosit because it turns just a passive video watching, whether it be a recorded online lecture, a YouTube video, something like that, into something that is interactive learning. PlayPosit will embed questions and comments and even reflection prompts It tracks student participation, and it encourages that interaction between the student and the instructor, which is one of the important components of RSI. All right, I'll hand it over to Janice. Stop share.
Make sure I'm unmuted this time. So what I'd like to share is what I would call a video that I've used in a face-to-face class, but you could show it online. But this video has no captions, no voiceover, no instruction. It's just something for the students to look at. Until, of course, in class, I am using a pointer, on the screen to point things out. But when they go back and view it on Canvas, that's what they have. So that was my example of some passive learning. So let's get this in the right kind of screen here. So Play Pause It is made by WeVideo, and I point that out because at the end of the presentation, we have a video link, or I'm sorry, a link that'll take you to this WeVideo website, and they are who make Play Pause It. So I just didn't want you to think it's two different things. WeVideo on their website has great tools that help you learn to do a lot of what we're going to show you today. So what is it? It's an interactive digital learning tool. Instead of showing you that passive video, I'm going to show you how we can make it a participatory video. You can create assignments directly linked to your Canvas gradebook. So the students do the exercises, earn points, and their grade is reflected directly in the Canvas gradebook. This Play Pause It video interaction will allow opportunities for substantial teaching exercises. So that substantial that many it's harder to get in the online courses. Here's a way that you can enhance your substantial teaching opportunities. Play Pause It are tools to assist educators in the assignment. So like I was mentioning earlier, WeVideo, they offer these tools that will assist you. So you're not on your own. There's ways that help you. And then I point out this bulb creation. In Play Pause It, everything's a bulb. It's really an assignment, but I just want to try to use their language. So that's my attempt here. So Play Pause It uses videos. So videos, we have to access them. So first we got to get them in a place that are easy to access. Canvas Studio offers a lot of tools, and it's connected directly to Canvas, right? It's in our Canvas, and I'm going to show you how to make sure you have it in your Canvas. I will say it has a lot of tools that are going to be listed, but if you ask me to go on the fly and demonstrate them, I'm not good on the fly. I will say those tools are available, but much research is good, and I would have to do my own before I could demonstrate that again. But Canvas Studio is linked. Studio is linked in Canvas as a tool that allows you to add captions, even trim the videos and things like that. You can also use videos from YouTube. You can use Zoom videos that you've recorded a lecture. You can use that video. If you have a video downloaded somewhere, you can drag and drop it. Many, many ways. I mean, we could go on all day long with the different ways that you can get a video and Play Pause It. But the key here that I need you to understand is you do need a video available, right? You can't work backwards. You got to have a video that's available. And you're going to essentially link it to Play Pause It. So I'm just going to kind of walk through Canvas Studio, how I can make it available. In your Canvas shell, I've opened the course that, of course, I'm going to be using the Play Pause It in. And on the very far toolbar, will find Studio. Now, I'm going to be very honest. When I was trying to do this at the conference, I did not have Studio. So I will show you how you can too get Studio. So Studio, I mentioned on the last slide, allows you to add captions. It will allow you to trim or clip the video. To access Studio, you can get it right here in the toolbar canvas on the far left side. And those videos are uploaded to Studio, are found within Canvas, and you can access them across all your courses. So if you were like me and don't have Canvas or Studio available in Canvas, you'll have to go down to the settings bar, that last button on the bottom in the far left toolbar, and then open up the navigation section. So once you open the navigation section, you have to move Studio from not visible to visible, right? It's one of those tools in Canvas that you cannot get to unless you make visible like simple syllabus. You have to move it to the top. Once I move it to the top, I have to push save on that button page. Then I have to go back to the settings page, course details, and update course details. So saved it on the button page on the navigation tools. And then I went back to the settings page, course details, and scrolled all the way down until I found update course details. And then it makes Studio where you can access it. So now it's accessible in Canvas in my left toolbar. So when I click on that, you'll see the screen I have on the bottom. If you do not have any media or any video in your course, it may be blank, and that's okay because we'll show you how to add some. So for me, I've already added some video to my Studio. If I'm going to add more, then I would use the button on the top there. So the top right button is Add Create. This is how I'm going to add videos to Studio. Once I use the little arrow and get the drop down window, I find Studio Capture, Screencast-O-Matic, or Add Media. So I'm not going to demonstrate any of these other features, but I just want to kind of point out what it means. So Studio Capture is truly a video. You can create a video right there in Studio. Or it opens up Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic is a tool that captures your screen. So it can video a PowerPoint you're giving, whatever you have on the screen, and it will create your video. Screencast-O-Matic, great tool. Or you can add media. So I'm going to be really honest, for the demonstration I did today, I captured it with an iPhone, and I did the old drag and drop or add media. So I dragged it from the phone, or honestly, it was an AirDrop to my computer. And then from my downloads, I dragged it into the media. So I chose the Add Media button, and this is the screen you see on the bottom. This is that bottom, the next box you'll get. I was able to drag and drop my media. I could have also browsed files and went to my downloads and brought my file in that way. You can see there's many ways. You can go over here, get your YouTube video, use a link, or even Vimeo. So videos are now accessible. Once I've added it here, they're now accessible for use from Studio to Play Pause It. So getting started with Play Pause It. So far, I've only shown you how to get videos in here. Now we're going to do something with the video. So getting started with Play Pause It is simple as creating an assignment. And all of us that have used Canvas have all created an assignment. It is no different. So go in, add assignment, that top button, top toolbar in Canvas, under your assignments, add assignment. And then now on the assignment page, you give it a name. For this video or Play Pause It I'm going to show you today, I called it Introduction to the Human Skull. I gave the students some instructions. It's all stuff we've done before, nothing new. Nothing new so far for anybody in Canvas. Here's where it's different. Instead of an upload or a file that the students will submit, we're going to use an external tool. So in the external tool under submission type, I didn't choose an upload, I chose external tool. And in that area, I'll find this find or enter an external tool. And in that area, you see I already have a Play Pause It website listed there because I've already been playing with Play Pause It. So it will give me all of my links right there. But for you, we're going to go to find. So we're going to skip all that part, ignore all that part, excuse me, and go to find. And when I open find, it'll give you a long list of applications that are available to you. And you'll go all the way down to Play Pause It and then choose select. Now, what this part has done right here is added Play Pause It to your assignment, right? So now in my assignment, you'll literally see this right here. Hold on, we got one more thing to do. So let me go back. I'm going to go back just to refresh myself. Okay, yes, we selected Play Pause It. We have to link it. I forgot the link button. Now we're going to set the link. So this is the next box. So the link resource from the external tool. This is still connecting Play Pause It to Canvas. And I will select the button that says set the link. So Play Pause It will ask you this. Do you want to set the link connecting Canvas to Play Pause It? And you're going to say yes, set link, that blue button. Then I'll continue back on. It brings you back to the assignment page, choosing your dates. When do you want the assignment open? When do I want it to close? All of those things, just like any other assignment that you've set up. And then you will choose save or save and pub. I wouldn't publish yet because we haven't done the video. So right now we're just going to do save. Then it brings me to my assignment page. So here's what my assignment page looks like. Introduction to the human skull. Oh, there's some Play Pause It going on here. So I don't really see anything else because I have to go into Play Pause It, right? So there's no questions or any of the other things that you would see in an assignment. So later on, when we're done with our Play Pause It exercise, when I'm in my assignment, I could download the assignment like I did for you on this PowerPoint. Later on, at the end, I give you what I made for the first Play Pause It assignment. I downloaded it. Or I can preview it, right? I want to check it out before I give it to the students. I highly suggest it. Apparently, this creator can't ever choose the correct time slot, so I'm always adjusting my times. I'm very good at it now. Or I can check, move my Zoom people, I can monitor. So when you monitor an assignment, that tells me what students have done it, how many attempts they've made, what their scores are, any of those kind of analytic type information. And I don't have any of that to show you because I've just created this and students have not even used the assignment yet. So we're going to use this bottom button because we don't have any of those other features available yet, and enter Play Pause It. When I enter Play Pause It, it's going to give us a screen like this here. And I think I said earlier, or if I haven't said it yet, this new bulb equals new assignment, new video assignment, but they call it a bulb. So what we've done here so far is from the Canvas assignment page, we've entered Play Pause It. This is this bottom button here. That was my assignment page, how it looks now. Now I'm in Play Pause It. I'm going to create a new bulb, a new assignment. Bulb is a video assignment. So I'm going to add new bulb, going to create something new. So I'll just push that blue button. So now the Play Pause It, the build site, I guess you would call it, where you're going to work on your video, add your questions, do your work, opens up. First, I've got to add some video here. So this top box is what you'll see next. So we just worked on how to get videos into Studio. So you're going to choose that bottom button that says Canvas Studio, that you'll see there's many other choices. If you know directly what you need on YouTube, you could go directly to YouTube or Vimeo or any other, what's that other one? It's some kind of media. You can even record from here. So there's lots of things you still can do from here, but I learned to do it from Studio. So in Studio, I could add my captions and things like that. So I'm going to open up my video from Studio. The next thing that opens up is all the videos that I have available. So it gives you your classes. So I went to my class for this fall. That was that DH706. And I would just open that window and I can see all the videos that I have in there. And I would simply select the video that I want added to my PlayPosit. In the next screen, we see what it looks like when it gives you this box. So now it's put the video in, and then you have like this last chance. Is this what you want? Right? Or you can customize, gives you other features, but not for this presentation today. So I'm choosing done. So I chose the clip on the last one from Canvas Studio on the last slide. When I choose that video, it opens it up in PlayPosit, and I have to choose done. And now my video is in PlayPosit, ready for me to add interactions with. So this bottom window or this bottom screen is kind of your working screen once you have a video into PlayPosit. So I know I'm kind of ready to go. So you can see things like the video segment, that's what's listed here. I can add many videos here. I could do the next tag over and get the interactions. We haven't made any yet, but they'll be listed there. And then that final tab on the top is just review. What have I done so far in my video? What does it look like? So you get kind of a preview option there. So the bottom toolbar, let's just kind of looking at, again, the workspace for PlayPosit. This very bottom toolbar allows the user to move through the video quickly. So, many of the video programs work this way. Grab the little bubble, it goes along the timeline. It's no different. Once you have the little bubble on the bottom at a place in the video where you would like an interaction, you want the video to stop and you want to ask the participant a question about the video, maybe about a portion that's coming up or about a portion they've already watched. But the key is I move that little bubble to a place in the video where you think it needs to go. And that's the point I'm not very good at, so I do a lot of adjusting on my timelines. The next little button I want to point out here is how to add an interaction. An interaction is a question. It stops the video and it's going to ask the student a question. And all it says is at, and that is the time. So wherever I hadn't moved this button yet, so it's still at 0. But if it was at 7 seconds or whatever time you choose, it tells you, add an interaction at that time. So I chose the button add an interaction, and then you get a box like you see on the top here. What kind of question do you want to ask? A multiple choice, a check all, a free response, fill in the blank, a poll or a discussion. So for this exercise, I chose the very top one, multiple choice. The multiple choice box opens up. It's pretty simple. I think, very easy to maneuver, much like Canvas. You write your question in, fill in your answer boxes, choose the correct one. But what I want to point out about this for today, I do a couple simple ones, but the only way to really learn any of this is just to explore, try different questions, try different settings. I've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
Can we ask a question, or do you want us to put it in
Absolutely.
the chat?
No,
My question, No, my question is there a way, can the students like fast forward this video to get to that question or whatever you're going to put in there?
absolutely. And no,
Okay.
it depends on what you allow them to do.
There is a way to allow it, or there's a way to prevent them
We
from
need
doing
like
it.
4 or 5 slides. I think I show you a place where you can adjust that. But like, give me 4 slides and see if I answer it.
Thank you.
So interaction development. So we were, just to kind of put us back in, we're building a multiple choice question. I made it very simple. I do ask way more in-depth questions in this, but I just doing something for the exercise today. Choose my yes or no, and then done. And then what it will take me back from my question window back to that PlayPosit workspace where I see my video, my little timeline adjuster, and the questions that I have now are interactions that I've added. So I can do a couple things at this point. I can, in the middle of this interaction box, I see add interaction to the group. So I have it stopped. I could ask multiple questions right here. or I can advance the video and add another interaction group. So those are some things, that are available as well. So here I'm going to add an additional question, not to the group, but at an additional point on the timeline. So if I chose this top button, I would not advance in the video anymore. I would simply add another question here, and you see this is at 0, so they have seen no video yet. Or I can add an interaction and move the bottom bubble to a different point in the timeline. So those are what I'm kind of pointing out here. I believe I chose to add another interaction. So I moved the bubble on the timeline to a different point. I made a different question here. I didn't walk through it. This one's just a multiple answer, I believe. But it shows you, like, I have 2 separate questions on my timeline at this point. This little white dot right here shows me where the first interaction is. And this, when I got done saving or moving my bubble away from it, you would see another little white dot right there. It kind of reminds you where those interactions occur. So let's back to the question that was asked me. So let's see if we get kind of close to that answer. So each of those questions that I've done has this little advance button that I didn't show you at all yet, right? Kind of skipped over that part. But when I open that button, I get all of these choices. So you could do these videos where you ask questions ahead of time and the student knows all those questions. Well, then maybe you skip the next 30 seconds of the video or the next 5 minutes, whatever the portion that covers it. Is the interaction even required? Maybe they don't even have to answer it. These are all the kind of things you can choose. Does the interaction pause the video or does the video keep playing? Learners can rewind. They read or after reaching the interaction, can they back up and watch it again? Or is it no, they had to watch it once and done? So you have a lot of use. So let's see the one question, what were you asking me? Can they jump ahead? I think there's somewhere, randomize order, only show correct answers. Jump if the user knows it correctly. It might be on the next or in the customize where you allow them. You can even block them from increasing the speed. You can adjust video speed. You can limit that. You can limit some other things too. Let me go on to the next one because I got another box here. Nope. I think we would have to play, but I've seen it. I've seen that feature. Sorry, I'm trying to read them quickly again. Because I've seen the but or one of these kind of areas where they cannot affect this playback. They can't skip. They got to watch it. Like you can make it that, I think it's in the customize button and I didn't open that one. Remember, so the possibilities are endless. So I'm just trying to give you the tip of the iceberg here. A little bit more on feedback, because this one really dives in, to me, the substantive part, where you can build some feedback right into your exercises. So the little wheel on the side of each of the answers, you can click that cog wheel and then get add feedback, mark it. Oh, see, switch the mark it incorrect, but the add feedback portion is very helpful. So some answers I can choose not to show them the correct answers, but I can show them the feedback. If that makes sense. Oops, sorry. Let's see some other, I'm still looking for that one question. So another options for you. Oh, editing placement of the interaction. So I'm very good at putting it in the wrong spot. So I learned how to edit that placement. And I go back to my question or my interaction, and I use those 3 dots in the top toolbar and choose edit. And you can adjust points. Somebody asked me maybe in this one already where to adjust points, but you can adjust points per question right there. But if I choose edit, it will take me to a box we see on the far right over here, and I can choose timing. When I choose that timing button, it brings me to this top box where I see this green button or bubble. That green bubble is where that interaction is at this time, at this moment. And I just drag it to where I actually want it. And then I say done, and it will move the interaction on my timeline for me. So I got real good at that adjustment. The last part of the question, that top toolbar shows us review. So when I go to review, it gives me an option to preview or save. Okay, so I go to preview, and preview is going to take us to the video of, what we've created so far. And then I know a lot of us out there would say, oh, I would do save first. So I probably would agree with that, and do save so you don't lose any of your work. But preview is how you're going to get to see what you've done with your videos so far. So some other things I learned, and maybe I didn't point out, one thing is to work in full screen. If I didn't say that, or I said it in the last training, now I'm kind of blurring them together. But working in full screen lets you see all the buttons that are available to you. So I spent a lot of time in nowhere land because I didn't see the far right of the screen. So make sure you have a full screen. That was super helpful to me. Be sure your sound is on when you go to your video. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I didn't do the sound, and I just simply was on mute. That was a fun one. And then finally, it's a closed caption button. If you spend all these time making your captions, and I was so frustrated, I think I did it 4 times, and I couldn't get them to play. It's because I had them turned off. It's great. So I'm going to bounce us over to a website. So I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment, only to switch to our participatory video. Aha. Escape. So this is the same link that you would be able to go to. This is an introduction to the human skull. We will first look at the neurocranium. The neurocranium consists of 14 bones. The single bones include the frontal, the occipital bone, and inside the neurocranium, we'll find the ethmoid, and the bone in the dead center here is the sphenoid. The sphenoid bone includes these wings that wrap around into the floor of the neurocranium, come across the middle, and all the way over here as well. So sphenoid, ethmoid, close them back up. Frontal, and back here we had the occipital. The paired bones will include the temporal bone. Go back to the lateral view here. The temporal bone, the parietal bones, these are both paired, so they'll be left and right. And the final bones are the ossicles, the malleus, incus, and stapes, which are located in the tympanic portion of the temporal bone. So here is my first interaction. So students had to pay attention a little bit. So name the single bones of the neurocranium. I heard these. And it's not a quiz for you guys. I just want to make sure I don't get it wrong. And so I could submit, and if I should have got one wrong, actually. Wonder if I could go back. Okay, I'll get one wrong next time. I forgot. That would be good for you to see something wrong. Okay, which of the following is a paired bone of the neurocranium? Okay, so I'm going to choose something wrong this time. Oh, bummer. I got it wrong, red. So because I chose retry, they get multiple attempts. So I'm going to retry this question now. See if I get it again. Did you see they scrambled, or did they stay the same? I wanted to notice that. Okay, I'll check next time. The answers are supposed to scramble, but I don't know if they do in between questions. So I still got it wrong. I'm going to see. They didn't scramble. I'm going to get it correct this time. Woohoo! So you can stop them where they can't go on until they get it correct. Here's a fill in the blank. What I found, like if you've done it before, I've done it a few times, so it remembers what my answer is here. But if students don't have the opportunity to retry, like maybe they can go back in the video, but they only get one attempt at this, they wouldn't see their answer, right? Because they wouldn't get an ability to do it again. So I think I chose like a 4-question group here. Choose paired. Sorry, don't want. Oh, I'll get another one wrong. I can get another one wrong and see what it does. So it just tells me I got it wrong, but it doesn't tell me what I got wrong. Kind of bummer and good. They got
I was wondering if there's a setting for that as well. Like
probably.
it can tell you, yes, you got these wrong, or it doesn't tell you and you have to get a certain amount right.
So what would have been better if I have all of that feedback I was talking about? The students could have read, the feedback here or not, or you may want them to go back on the video. I mean, you have lots of options. I mean, lots of ways
The
to
next bones we'll look at make
use it.
up the visceral cranium. They include they are 15 bones. The single bones include the mandible, the vomer. We can also see the vomer from this view right here, the vomer. That bone right there. And the hyoid, which is not part of our human skull kit, but it is part of a bone we will be studying. So that was mandible, vomer, hyoid. Those are the single bones of the viscerocranium. The paired bones include the maxilla, so both sides, the zygomatic, the nasal bones, the lacrimal bone, tiny bone right here, the turbinates, and the palatine bone. So we can see the palatine bone, a tiny tip, the very posterior part of the orbit. But a better view of the palatine bone is if we flip over and look at the inferior view of the skull, and we can see the palatine bones making up the posterior palate. Here and here. Here and here are palatine bones.
So chose another place to stop the students, make sure they're paying attention. I don't want to get them wrong. I wonder if I have scramble not on because all of the correct answers are on top. So editing is something we'll talk about too, which is kind of nice features of play pause that you can't easily edit. It's not like a recreate, re-download, new link, none of that. Oh, good, I got something wrong. Paired bones. Didn't read. This is good. To get it wrong. Nice.
Next, we're going to look at the major fossa of the viscerocranium. First, we'll look from the frontal view, and we will see the right and left orbit. So the orbit, major fossae, orbit, and the nasal fossae. Those are the 3 major fossae of the viscerocranium that you will see from the frontal view. The final one we're going to talk about is the infratemporal fossa, which kind of is the space located directly behind the zygomatic arch. That is the infratemporal fossa. It is located from the right and left, seen from the lateral view. Infratemporal fossa. So right and left orbit, nasal fossa, and the infratemporal fossa was the one back here.
So from the frontal, left, right. And from the lateral was infratemporal.
The bones of the lamina orbitalis include the frontal bone making the superior rim, the lateral and inferior rim are made up by the zygomatic. The inferior medial rim are made up by those maxilla. So frontal, zygomatic, maxilla. We look a little closer, and I'm going to just turn them a tiny bit here. We'll start on this medial wall, and we will work posteriorly. So we start with maxilla. We have here lacrimal. We go a little more posterior. We see ethmoid. The very tiny posterior portion of the maxilla will pick up the palatine bone, and the posterior lateral wall is made up of the sphenoid. So frontal, zygomatic, maxilla, lacrimal, ethmoid, palatine, sphenoid. Next.
Maybe I should quiz the audience. Superior. So some things you can do is simple questions, but this question is really a directional question.
Next, we'll look at the bones of the nasal fossa. So nasal fossa is lined left and right maxilla, but the interior portion here starts with the nasal septum. Nasal septum is made of the vomer, and on the superior portion is made of the ethmoid, specifically the perpendicular plate. So vomer, ethmoid, inferior nasal concave or turbinate, middle concave and superior concave are part of the ethmoid. Perpendicular plate of ethmoid, the vomer, right and left turbinates, right and left maxilla.
So my perpendicular plate and vomer. Then it gives me a score, even though I had to redo them. Now, repeatability is absolutely in your control, right? You can choose to not let them have repeatability. So let me go back to, I'm going to end this share. We're almost there, guys. We thank you for being with us this late afternoon flex day. It's maybe only one more presentation for people after this. Or is this the end for people?
I know that after lunch presentation, we're still kind of sleepy from the food.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Some of us still want our food. So here in my little bit of experience with Play Posit, some positives that I have been able to extrapolate. So it becomes interactive and engaging learning experiences for students. It does create a virtual learning environment that supports the distance education accreditation standards by adding those substantive interactive pieces. The assignment or bulb can be linked to multiple courses. And here's the edit piece I was kind of alluding to earlier. If you use this in multiple courses, but you want to make an edit, like I saw something I don't like, I want to go edit it. I don't have to go change the link and re-upload. I go make my edit and Play Posit, and it is affected in all the courses that I use it in. So it makes it more convenient for instructors to have a little bit of control and, I don't want to say fix things, but I have to fix my things all the time. So I'm constantly fixing. The other thing I thought was super valuable is it has the ability to use different video clips. You can use multiple short videos. You can combine them into one assignment really, really easily. So a lot of positives. Yes.
I have a question. what time would you suggest in terms of how long this video is? Because if it's too long, I think it would take the students too long to get through it with all these little quizzes, sort of. What would you suggest, like a 5-minute video?
That's going to be at discretions. I know in the last one we had some instructors over in applied technology talking about, oh, well, we can bring in YouTubes on safety and then quiz them about that. So I mean, it really depends on your ability, what your focus is. Now, some things that, you can also control is letting the student have the ability to change the speed. So you could speed it up, right? They could drag along the bottom. I'm using mine in a face-to-face class, so it's very slow, but they could speed it up to the pieces they really need, There's a lot of variabilities there. I think, that's going to depend on how the teacher uses it. Maybe they do a PowerPoint over several slides, but you're right. I mean, even PowerPoints can become overwhelming, but maybe you break it up into different chunks of information. So I just don't have I know mine was boring. I know. I got you. I wanted to
No,
speed it.
thank you. No, that's
There's a
okay.
lot of
Thank you.
flexibility there, though. There's very instructor friendly, it's student friendly, and there's a lot of flexibility depending on what you need.
Good point. That's a very good point. I just want to show this slide. The wevideo.com, that is who makes PlayPosit. If you go on their website, you can learn a whole bunch about them. But what is most exciting is they have lots of training videos, how to use their product, what are different things you can do. Remember, I've only showed you the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more there. And the other link I've provided here for you is just a YouTube of what we just did, but in a YouTube speed, right? So you don't have to go try to figure out a PowerPoint. You can hear this gentleman. He helped me a few times, just saying. So I think it was kind of helpful. So I just wanted you to know what those links were all about. So we were going to try to break this up into sessions, but that never mind, doesn't matter. But we do want any questions. We want to try to answer any questions. And we also want to kind of like pose your, get some thoughts going about, could this work for you? Where would it work? And just even raw ideas, because sometimes just hearing others say, oh, what about this? Like I learned in the last one that maybe you could have it about the syllabus. I think that's, anyway, so we're going to leave this open. So go ahead, Edward. You don't have to raise a hand. You could go for it.
This is a phenomenal presentation, but I have 2 questions. Hopefully they're quick questions.
I hope I have answers.
The first question is, when I do any adjustments, do I go on to play post?
Oh, this is an excellent question. So anytime I want to go to this, right? Because I thought that too. I'm like, how do I get in play post? I don't remember. Go back to your assignment in Canvas. So it's that first box. In fact, I'll go backwards if I don't make anybody car sick. Close your eyes. I'll tell you when we're there. This box right here, after you set link, I'm sorry, it's the next one. It looks the same. I just enter it, PlayPosit right there. But I'm
Okay.
in Canvas. I'm in Canvas.
Okay.
I'm in Canvas.
So
Okay.
from there, it's like it automatically signs you in with
Yep.
the
Perfect.
credentials that the school has provided for all the faculty to use PlayPosit.
Okay, so that's where I do it. Okay, perfect. Second question is, I noticed if you show a lot of videos, like let's say 10 videos, and you have a lot of quizzes in between, you have to keep track of all those quiz points. So when you do your final, grading scale, you have to memorize, wait a minute, I have 10 videos, I have 5 questions per video. So I'd be afraid I'd be getting so into it, I would forget to do those 5 videos at 5 points each.
There's some really cool things. This PlayPosit assignment goes right to Canvas. So depending on how you've set up your assignments in Canvas, if it's a 25% of my grades or this, all of your assignments that you make through PlayPosit will show up in
Okay.
your assignments. If that makes sense.
Oh, yes. But what if you don't use that 25%? Like I don't do the 25 percentages. I just do like,
They're still going to be in
discussion.
your assignments. They're
Okay.
still going to be in your assignments.
And they just keep track of for the play post, they'll have exactly how many questions
Okay, so
and points for the video.
yes, so you can adjust
Okay.
your points for questions. Like if maybe I only wanted my assignment to be worth 10 points, I can adjust my questions to that. Probably roughly, I didn't see any 1.5s or anything like that. So
Right,
you
right.
have some limits. But it puts that grade, whatever they got on it, puts that grade right in your grade book. And I wish I could show you, but I haven't
That's
even
okay.
I haven't even done it yet. I mean, they're gonna
Okay.
get it next week.
So it'll show you what you've done, like 5 points, 10 points for each video. So to just keep a running total.
If you have
Of-
separate assignments
Mhm.
for each separate video, then each assignment will go in your grade book
Okay,
automatically, keeping track of it for you.
good. All right, thank you.
Very welcome. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about it. It linked right to Canvas and my grade book. Yes. Excellent questions. Anybody else? Well, can I at least ask if it was more participatory than my passive video? I'm going to take silence as a yes. All right, I'm going to stop my share. Have you checked chat, Chelsea? Do we have anything in chat or Q&A?
I do have just some good feedback. It's great, thank you. Yes, so Lynn, I will post that again for those that didn't see it. Let me get that for you right now.
Are we going to put the
I'm gonna put the PDF version of the presentation.
oh, what I resaved it with the updates.
Okay, great.
Let me go, I'll go grab it.
I got it. Oh, the new one or? Oh,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to put yours in, the one that you saved with the updates, that'd be perfect.
And then does anybody want the RSI piece? It does link actually.
I put the RSI one in there. I can put it in again.
That's okay. I just saw it. So I want to make sure. So this would be exactly what we just showed them.
Yes.
Perfect. Is Diana Day still in here? Can she maybe talk to, are we touching the substantive piece for online? She can shoot me later.
Yeah, I have the policy. So it's the policy, and I can put this in as well. So I'll just go ahead and read this. Oh, I'm going to put it to everyone. So this is, so our hybrid course has 50% or more face-to-face allocation. The requirements drop to 1 interaction a week and must have at least 2 different types of interactions. The interactions should increase as appropriate for both fully online or hybrid courses based on the length of the course and the number of units, with shorter term or higher unit classes having more interactions per week. The frequency of interactions should be commensurate with the length and amount of content of the course. So standard for like a 3-unit class, we're looking at 2 different interactions per week.
Per week. Sounds perfect. That's perfect. All right. Do we have questions? No, nobody's. I think Chelsea was right. We were suspecting that maybe lunch is making us drowsy. We could be wrong. Does Susie come and let him go? How do we let him go?
I think they get credit, we just say goodbye. I think, is that right, Susie?
She might be on her many other Zoom meetings today.
Yeah, I think that's how, so if we end it, you guys, you'll get full credit for everything.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. You were a quiet bunch, but I appreciate you. I hope and Chelsea, I hope we were able to answer questions. I hope we're helpful. I hope we gave you inspiration. I know the last group, a colleague reached out and said, why do they do these like 5 minutes before the class starts? It's not enough time to get, your feet wet with it. Can you please do it again in the spring? So just saying, Chelsea, they might want us back. I don't know.
Okay.
To do
Well,
it,
we'll hopefully even have it more fine-tuned and more information for you guys, so,
we'll see.
yes.
Well, thank you, group. Enjoy your Friday. I hope this was the last one for you guys. A long day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.